go through the right to be forgotten element of the GDPR features that we've put in place for Colleague 7. We'll start off within the admin area, just covering some of the sections that you need to know about, beginning with user group permissions. This is obviously the means to delete a record under the request of the candidate to remove their details from your system. So as a feature, it's obviously quite sensitive in terms of the nature of the work that it's doing. It's obviously deleting the data and deleting it in a manner so that it is non-retrievable. It's not a process that can be undone. So what we've done is obviously set user group permissions which allow for certain users with the right privileges to be able to run this feature. And you can run this feature either at an individual entity record level, so per candidate record, or you can run the delete search option from a search result. And also you've got delete contact and then delete contact through search result, all as options there. We've got deleted records there as an option also, and that deleted records relates to the section within the admin area to view the IDs of records that have been deleted. So that covers the user group permissions. If I just go into the deleted records area, you can obviously filter on the different entity types, but this is essentially it. It's giving you the list of IDs of records that have been deleted, when they were deleted and who deleted them. Yeah, and also you can access those records if you wish to. But these are essentially shell records, and I'll demonstrate what I mean by that. The record itself is empty of information. The history has been wiped, the documentation has been deleted, everything's essentially wiped from the system in that regard. So that's just a record of all deleted records on the system. So if I close down the admin area, what we'll do is we'll go to the candidate that we have in mind to delete here. So first and foremost, if a candidate has responded advising that they've not given consent on entering the record, this alert will appear, essentially advising that you've not got consent from the candidate and the record should be deleted. So that's our current state with this candidate. If I just go through, we've obviously got some history here. We've got some documentation assigned, we've got some notes, some skills, custom fields as well. I've created an unknown experience record here just to cover off that this area will also be wiped clean as well. Checklist items, we haven't got a CV sent on spec, but what we have done is we've also shortlisted this candidate against a particular requirement as well, just to demonstrate how that would appear from the requirements perspective if an associated candidate was deleted from it. So if I go to that requirement record from the candidates tab, you'll see here that obviously that same candidate is listed here currently, and they've currently been shortlisted against this role. So returning to the candidate, what we'll then do now is essentially delete the record. So if we just OK off that alert message, also off the view more submenu here, you've got the option to delete record. And on pressing delete record, it's going to bring up this alert advising you that this will delete all the details for the candidates, including history detail, document skills, and so on. The key point, as mentioned before, is that this cannot be undone, so it's going to ask for you to confirm if you wish to continue, and if you do, then obviously the process will run through and delete the record. If you don't want to delete the record at that time, you can obviously hit no and cancel off the request. So we'll do that, and then we'll hit yes there to proceed with the deletion of the record. So this is going to run through essentially wiping the record clean and then refresh the record, basically showing that that information has now been cleared from the record. So that's just refreshing now. Okay, so obviously first point of note, you've got an alert there advising that the record's been deleted. This is the candidate, or this is the user that deleted the record, and this is when that deletion took place. Obviously your mandatory fields alerts are going to be fired because this record has now essentially been wiped of information, but obviously that's to be expected. The mailshot status is going to be set to allow none, just as an extra fail safe, but essentially this record is unaccessible within the system moving forwards from this. So, but it's set to none anyway, just as a point of course, because that field has to contain something. from the history side of things, you'll notice that all of the history text has been cleared, and we've got an extra history log that's been added there just on the date and time of when the record was deleted, and obviously the user that undertook that deletion. If I just go to the documents, you'll see that any associated documentation has been deleted. All notes have been cleared from the record as well. Skills are all gone. Custom fields are wiped clean. Again, these are all mandatory in the system, so those have all been wiped clear. Experience records are gone. As a point of note, the situation with the requirement is obviously retained in the sense that there's an association there. But if we go to the requirement record and let's just refresh that requirement record, you'll note that on the candidate tab that record is now gone. That candidate has now been removed from this list of associated candidates. So from the deleted candidates perspective, there is an association still retained there as a record that the candidate was associated with the requirement, but obviously the candidate, in terms of the person's name, they've been renamed to deleted candidate, is essentially completely anonymized in that respect, and all history is also wiped clear as well. So that covers the deletion of a candidate record. It's the same workflow essentially for the deletion of a contact record, and these workflows can be run from search results as well. So on the build of a search result, you can tick selected records and choose to delete them, and that essentially just runs exactly the same workflow, exactly the same alerts. It's just obviously running from a search result. It can take a few more minutes to churn through and delete all those records depending on the number of records you've chosen to delete at any one time. So that's the deletion process. That's the right to be forgotten legislation item for this video. And the next point to cover is the right to access, which will be the next video along.